Hi, hello, welcome to my suffering. So, it's been about 15 years since I have tried to use acrylic paint. The last time I used it was when I was about 11 in high school. So when I just started high school, I attempted to paint some animals. I was very proud of it. And then I showed my art teacher, who told me how disappointed he was that I showed him art so terrible. That statement of him being disappointed in me and my art continued for the next 7 years. So you could see why, out of all the mediums, acrylic was the one that I never really gravitated towards. I thought about doing oil painting first, but then the cleanup was just too much. Acrylic is easier to clean up. So when I went to the store and saw some paint, I decided to buy it and try it out. And it did not go too well, as you can see on the screen right now. Well, the first one didn't come out too well. The first full portrait I have ever done in my entire life with acrylic. That's the one that's going on right now. Before I did this painting, I actually did an eye, a nose and mouth, and a hand. And those came out okay, but I found it really difficult to work with. You can actually see me getting more comfortable with the medium as the video progresses. And I think part of the problem was that I picked the wrong subject. I find dark skin pretty difficult to work with. That's why in my last video where I did marker drawing, I intentionally chose people with darker skin to practice on. But I also wasn't very satisfied with the initial sketch. So I was already going into the painting with a sketch I wasn't satisfied with. And I've said it in other videos that once the sketch is bad, everything else is going to be bad. So the sketch is super important. That's why you see a lot of artists on Instagram and YouTube and stuff use the grid method. I don't use the grid method. I find it very tedious, very boring, and it leaves you with a very stiff drawing. I prefer to freehand my sketches, unless I'm doing a very big piece, in which case I might use some sort of transfer, but even then I tend to use as little as possible just to get the general proportions and then go in with my pencil and do the rest freehand. I just like the effect it looks, the effect it gives much better. But this one was a real struggle. I tried so hard to mix the right colors, but it just wasn't working because I've done dark skin in watercolor. But it's a little different in watercolor, because in watercolor you start off very light and you build up the darkness, whereas acrylic you can go back and forth and put light on dark, and I was having a lot of problems really getting that into my head, the fact that I can put light on dark. So my whole process for painting this portrait, it felt completely different than what I'm used to, because even with markers, you start light and then you go dark. And with charcoal, I generally put down like a light base tone to just tone the paper, and then I pull out the highlights and put in the dark tones. But with acrylic, because I could work light on dark, it was really messing with my head. But you can see me getting a lot more comfortable with the next portrait and the portrait after that, because the other thing is that I think I chose the wrong subject. Not only was I trying to paint dark skin, but I was also trying to paint a woman, and I am not very good at painting, drawing, rendering women. It's something that I'm actually working on a lot, so if you follow me on my Instagram, links in the description, you'll see that I've started posting a lot of female portraits and male portraits, but female portraits as well. That's why for the second drawing, the second attempt and the third attempt, you'll see that I chose male subjects. I just find that with women, because there's less wrinkles, the skin is smoother and everything is softer and smoother, and the gradients are, well, they're just smoother. I find it very difficult to work with, especially because with a man, if you put a straight line or stroke or anything, it would just look natural. But with a woman, everything has to be clean. You have to use a lot less shadows. Even if there are shadows in the picture, sometimes you end up leaving out shadows that are there so that the face looks more aesthetic. And that is sometimes a problem for me, even with my charcoal and graphite drawings. So it's again something I'm working on, as well as with the dark skin. These acrylics are just some cheap Sergeant Art acrylics I saw in a pharmacy. I haven't really seen other brands. I've seen TBC, that I haven't tried those yet, but it's mainly Sergeant Art that I get here. It's just what I have available, so I can't say if part of my frustration was the cheap acrylic paint, or if it was just because I haven't used it in so long. But I tried, and I actually think I'm getting a lot better with it. As you can see right now in the male portrait, I think it came out a lot better from the very beginning, but then I was also more satisfied with the initial sketch as well. So that just goes back to me saying that the sketch is so important. I think that's it. I'm gonna let you finish the video, and then I will talk a little after this portrait is finished. So far I have done 5 acrylic paintings, starting with the eye and this, then trying to use up the paint on this eco-friendly plate, then this girl, and then this guy. I'm not sure who he is. I think he kind of looks like one of the princes from Who Rules the World, but I'm not sure. I just looked up for somebody with pale skin and somebody with dark skin. And I think I got the pale skin good on this, and this kind of on this. This one isn't too bad for a first attempt, but this was the first time I've attempted to do dark skin in acrylic, and my color mixing is so bad. These parts actually look a lot lighter on the camera than in real life. So, but even with that, it just does not look good. The only other time I've ever tried to paint dark skin was with this guy, and his skin came out too dark, if you watch my gouache video. So, I decided to draw 2 more guys. 2 black guys. This guy has more yellowish skin, and this guy has darker skin but more on the reddish tone. So I'm going to do this. I was going to end the video with this guy, but then I told myself, no, I am not satisfied with how I did her skin tone, and I really need to work more on color mixing with dark skin people. If you watch my marker portrait, then you know I'm actually pretty okay with doing dark skin in marker, because I was practicing it in another video. Hopefully I'll remember to link it. And light skin is pretty simple, but with acrylic, I just need to get better with the color mixing. So I'm gonna paint these two guys and see if it's possible for me to be able to paint dark skin. Wish me luck. So I was working on editing this video, and so this was the first picture I've ever done, this first portrait in acrylic paint ever in my life, because when I used to use acrylic paint back when I was 11, I only painted animals. Anyway, so I've been practicing, and I think I also filmed these portraits, but I'm not going to put them in the video. The reason is that I started to actually do some improvement. Well, this is in gouache, but the skin tones, especially with the darker skins, because this guy looks just like this is what his skin tone looked like in the picture. And then I started to think, you know what, maybe I should practice a little more. So then I did this and this. This is a video that's going to come out pretty soon. You could actually see I think this one was a video I did, a reel on my Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram in the description. But anyway, I did this as well. And then this portrait, all in acrylic. So I thought, you know what? I can't let the video end with this being the memory people have of me attempting to do dark skin tones. Especially not after, well, a few weeks, to be honest. Maybe like 2 months of painting in acrylic. I want to try to recreate this picture, and see how much I have improved after doing about 10 portrait paintings in acrylic. So this is where we're starting at, and this is where we're going to end this video. And already I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I wasn't completely satisfied with this sketch, and I wasn't sure why, but after studying facial proportions a bit more, I realized what the problem that was really throwing me off with, and that's the mouth. Normally when I'm doing anime kind of drawings and cartoon, I put the mouth halfway between the chin and the nose, but on realistic portraits, the halfway point is usually the bottom lip when the mouth is closed. So this mouth should have gone up further, but I didn't realize that at the time, so I was really frustrated with the sketch and I really didn't understand why. So I actually like this base sketch a lot more. It looks much more like the picture, and I'm gonna try to redeem myself because honestly, I really don't like this portrait. I think this one, that was my second acrylic painting, and then these came out a lot better. But I'm just better at drawing men in general, so this is still going to be a challenge. But let's see how much I could improve in a very short time. I've been putting off doing this video for a while because I got sick. So this is... I actually haven't painted in a while because, like I said, I was sick. And yeah, actually, the reason I decided to do the painting today, this painting, I have some paints from Mr. Pen. These are the only paints I can get in Jamaica and decided to order online. Yeah, I finished 100,000+ word novel yesterday. It's book 3 in a series that I'm going to release hopefully before the end of the year. And I was going to slack off today, maybe watch a movie or something, and then start everything again tomorrow. But I've had no electricity for the past 2 hours. So instead of waiting any longer, I'm just gonna do some painting. I say that like it's a problem, it's not. I love painting. But anyway, we're gonna get straight into the speed paint, and we're gonna see how much I improved. And there we have it. My first ever portrait and my most recent portrait. You can already tell that I'm starting to get a style, because in this I was trying to go a bit too realistic and I didn't have the skills to do that. This time I went for a more abstract style, the style that I've been practicing, and it was a lot more intentional, and I think it came out a lot better. Obviously it's not the exact same as the photo, because I wasn't going for the exact same thing as a photo. I wanted to do my style of the photo, and I think my main thing is that for this picture my gaze was drawn mainly to this area of her face. I like to smile and her eyes, and I think I kind of got the eyes, but lips are still giving me trouble, especially because I wanted to use a kind of limited palette. I'm not sure if it was in frame, because I have to put the phone pretty high up to get this entire 9x12 page, so I'm not sure if it was in frame. But if you saw my palette, I was using white, yellow, red, purple, brown, pink, blue, black. So if you take out the black and the white, that was 6 colors, which is more than I was planning to use to begin with. I think I could have taken out the purple and the pink and I would have gotten the same result. But I still like it. I think I could have pushed the values a bit more in this one, and I pushed it way too far in this one. I don't... She looks like she has a skin condition. But this is definitely an improvement. Just look at the mouth and look at the eyes and look at this mouth and this eyes. The nose was giving me a little bit of trouble, but that's fine. And for this one, something I've been trying to do is I've been looking at a lot of John Singer Sargent's portraits, and something he does is the face, like right here, tends to be very bright and more detailed, and then the back of the head, the top of the head, tends to almost blend into the background, and I kind of tried to do that near the top here by lightening down here, darkening the top and kind of painting over the hair into the background. I think that kind of worked, but because I normally use cool colors in my art for the most part, because warm colors give me a migraine, but I asked Gio what I should use, what colors I should use, and he said purple and orange, and I tried to do that by kind of mixing the like an orange gradient and then using purple. But these are yellow and orange are colors that I tend to feature prominently in my art. You can see it in all of these other... I love how this one came out, this of Rihanna. Check out my Instagram if you want to see reels of paintings that I don't make videos of, or drawings, because I also do drawings. You can see this was mainly very dark, cool colors, and this was a lot of blue, purple, dark reds. So this was a bit of an experiment using lighter colors, and maybe I should not have been experimenting so much in one piece, but I have the time because it's been 3 hours and current has still not come back yet. So I think I might even do another painting. The washi tape ripped this paper, and I don't know why, because it's not that sticky. I think it's just the paper. This is mixed media paper from US Art Supply. They sometimes go on sale. I don't really recommend you buying it unless you're going to use very opaque stuff like acrylic, because it doesn't do well with watercolors. It soaks up all the ink of markers. Pencil is pretty okay, but there's a limit to how dark you can go. I'll do a whole review on this book when it's done. But back to the video and back to the outro, because this video is getting a bit too long. I think this is a definite improvement, and I can see the improvement even with these others that I started off with. I'm definitely making my own style and I really like it. I love this kind of abstract, colorful portraits. It feels so much more fun to paint than regular old realism. I don't really like regular realism or hyperrealism. I really like stylized realism, and I think I'm getting into my own style, and that's pretty cool. So if you want to see more videos of me painting and drawing, then make sure to subscribe. If you just want to see pretty pictures, you can follow me on Instagram. I have an Instagram under my own name, Lauren Cumry, that I do mainly realism, and then the Archival Archives Instagram has more of my illustrations, because those are two different audiences, so I decided to separate them for that. You can check out my books. I write novels. In the description, I write under my name and a pen name. The pen name has more fantasy, high fantasy, while my name, Lauren Cumry, is more realistic. So yeah, you can check that out. I think that's it. I will see you in another video, hopefully. I have a video that I think I'm gonna post after this on the male portrait you saw earlier, me painting that, because I painted that before I painted this. And I have a sketchbook tour that I want to post as well, a few, because I've decided to quit one of my sketchbooks, which you'll hear about in that video. So make sure you subscribe, and that's it. I'll see you in another video. Later.